Hello, YouTube. Suzaku Blitz here, part 11 of my Mega Man 4 minus Infinity run. Death Spikes! Lots of Death Spikes. So this is Cossack 3, aptly named the Purification Plant. As you can probably tell by A, the title of the stage, and B, the amount of Death Spikes on the ceiling, this is a very water-based level. So this is probably my least favorite level in the entire game. It's very slow, it's very long-winded, the mini-boss fight is ridiculously tedious, and the most enjoyable part of this entire level is the boss fight itself. Like, getting to the boss fight just feels like such an insane chore and this is most likely my least favorite level in the entire game. It's a treatment plant, you're going through sludge. Seems like a very apt metaphor at this point in time. Yes, rush cannon crap out of this. You have two paths here. I prefer taking the top because I just prefer taking the top. To be honest, I just went with the top first and I just stuck with it. Also, as you can tell, I fail at jumping. Immensely so. You may notice the cracks in the pipe. If you shoot those cracks, water does pop up. So be wary of that because that can cause some momentum shifts and cause you to jump into pits prematurely. Or in my case, just cause you to fail jumps entirely, because I'm an idiot. I shouldn't be failing those jumps, but I failed 2 of them already. I also failed at actually pulling a rush surge and instead decided to shoot some death spikes for no particular reason. Yeah, this probably isn't the shining example of how to play Mega Man 4, am I, to be honest, but it got the job done, and it got me through the level. And there goes my phone. I refuse to pick that up. So, I choose to take this a bit slow because of the fact that I don't want to be popping any of those pipes and causing the water to come down and be issues for me. This level may have also gone faster if I decide to employ my Robot Master weapons a bit more frequently, to be honest. But I chose not to because I was being ultra conservative. That's the Asian in me. Oh well. I will skull wheel that just to avoid that little fight. And hey, this guy looks familiar. Thankfully, you don't have to wait for his eyes to open to kill him, and you can just HCR boomerang his butt off into the ground. Yay! And I missed that power up because I failed to jump. The bubbles are back, but I decided to just wire over all of them because I'm just I don't feel like dealing with them. And again, balloons. If you're doing a Buster only run of this game, all the power to you because Buster onlying this game is probably insanely difficult, even if you had 9 E-tanks on at the beginning of every level. So after you hit the switch, you have a forward momentum pushing you this way. Try to jump near the end and wire yourself up to the top right corner up there because there is an E-tank and a 1-up up there that will be useful. So this is the real mini-boss, and as you can tell just by the way it's going right now, you can tell this is going to take a while. Because the big bubble comes into medium-sized bubble, which comes into small bubbles, which comes into tiny bubbles, before you can actually blow them up. So it's a bubble puzzle. But it's not just this. There's more. There's more to this than just that, as soon as I kill these bubbles. So yeah, there's more. So I just go ahead and decide to do that. There isn't really too much to say. Shoot all the bubbles and watch the screen flicker, as you probably won't be able to see all the bubbles because of the way this video will probably get encoded. You can technically skull wheel your way through some of this, but if you're going too fast into one of the small bubbles, it will hit you before it dissipates, causing damage. So skull wheel is only recommended in the most congested times of this fight. And holy crap, is this fight just, again, this level is just tedious in general. And if the bubble is low enough, you can't hit it with... If the bubble is low enough, you can't hit it with anything, so you have to employ something else, like Hell-Wheel, to hit it. Therefore, yeah. And as you can tell, it's just, if you're going too fast into a bubble before you... it will do damage to you before you will destroy it, so keep that in mind. And now we have bubbles all the way to top, which can't be busted. Yeah, this is in my opinion the worst fight in the entire game. It's so slow, it's so tedious, and yes, there's a phase 3 with even more bubbles. And right here I'm just like, screw this, I'm just going to destroy all those bubbles with the power of Hell-Wheel in the corner. And I'm just going to go ahead and see how much I can Hell-Wheel, because Hell-Wheel does dispatch these bubbles insanely quickly if you have the precision control to not get hit all the time. Unfortunately, when you have a wonky controller, because apparently this game with this emulator doesn't like controller input, it can lead to some very imprecise play, which might also explain why I kept missing my jumps all the way near the middle of this level. And again, I shouldn't all blame it on controllers, because I'm not really the best Mega Man player on the planet. But I like to think of myself as pretty decent and somewhat patient-ish, sorta. Admittedly, I'm 2 hits away from death right now, so I don't know why I'm deciding to continue to use Hell-Wheel, because Hell-Wheel is a very risky move in this chamber, especially when there's this few bubbles left and you can pretty much just pick them off whenever you feel like it. Of course, I'm still an idiot, and actually got hit when I'm not in the Hell-Wheel mode. So yeah, definitely not the best player there is, but yeah, once you get to about this many bubbles, they're very easy to manage. The hardest part of any of these fights is literally the first 10 seconds of the fight. Hey, those machines should look very familiar a la Mega Man 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and abuse the crap out of Rush Search to try to get up to full life before I get there, but unfortunately he gives me more 1-ups. So, who do you think you'll be fighting? Wow, that layout looks very familiar. What? That eye looks familiar! Well, shit. Thankfully, this fight isn't as bad as we think it is. This is definitely a very interesting interpretation of the Devil Monster, and I really like this interpretation. Again, I feel this is probably the best fight, or the best part of this level is the boss fight itself, and the boss fight itself is ridiculously fun. You might have noticed that our devil friend here actually explodified slightly when I took him out to a certain amount of life. That's him indicating he's changing phases. So make sure to... You can't actually hurt him until he goes into his next attack pattern, so don't even bother trying. Any weapon that has like an 8-directional shoot feature is very useful, so HCR Boomerang or Dive Laser. I prefer HCR Boomerang in this particular case because HCR Boomerang does have a wider shot versus laser, but the laser does shoot instantly across the screen, so if you're better with the laser, just go ahead and use the laser. And now we're into phase 3, where he starts resembling a Kirby boss. Oh yes, that eye isn't from Kirby after all, so I'm going to go ahead and not risk a death here, and I'm going to go use an E-Tank. You actually do get plenty of E-Tanks in the last stage, but you should come in with at least a couple of E-Tanks. Like, I would say at least 3 E-Tanks before you come into the Cossack stages, just to keep yourself well-stocked and prepared for any contingency. If you play well enough, you can pretty much go through every stage without using a single E-Tank, so you're good to go. So yeah, he's dispatched. That is part 11 of my Mega Man 4 Mine run. Take care, and enjoy the crazy transportation to the next stage.